now.
Right now at 6, Florida is in the final hours before Hurricane Milton makes landfall.
The state bracing for what could be the storm of the century. Let's take a live look at the waves and the winds that we're already seeing. On your left, St. Petersburg, about 30 minutes from Tampa. And on your right, the Howard Franklin Bridge. Storm surge warnings now covering most of the entire west coast of Florida. The National Hurricane Center says Milton has spawned at least 10 tornadoes in the south central part of the state. This one was caught on video, and we're told it crossed over I-75.
And just minutes ago, President Joe Biden addressed the people in Florida, saying the time to evacuate is likely over, but there's still time to get to shelter and hunker down from this dangerous storm.
So I encourage people to look for safer shelter. Sometimes moving just a few miles can mean the difference between life and death.
All right, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb with any updates on Milton's path or strength.
Right now, we're getting updates every hour now. Instead of, at 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 8 o'clock, we're getting them every hour. Now the storm is about 50 miles away from Sarasota, and it's moving at about 15 miles an hour. So we're going to see that landfall happening within the next few hours along the western coast of Florida. You can see the center of the circulation right now nearing the coastline. We think it is going to go moving up just kind of this way a little bit to the north and east, with most likely that landfall near Tampa Bay or just south of that, really near the Sarasota area. But also look at the rest of Florida. We're talking about landfall being the center of the circulation, but Florida has been feeling the impacts all day long with the heavy rain, and we had more than 50 tornado warnings in central and south Florida a little bit earlier. There's that center of circulation. Here's Sarasota right there. Is going to continue moving up toward the north and east with that official landfall. Again, the center of circulation right about here. So that official landfall comes a little bit later on tonight. Live view right now. This is Clearwater, Florida, near Tampa. The camera's shaking. Visibility is low. The surf is very rough out there. We have the hurricane warnings in effect for parts of central Florida. It looks like that landfall will be this evening. Then by 2 o'clock tonight, a Category 1 hurricane just south of Orlando, and then moving out into the Atlantic and falling apart. We still have tropical storm warnings in effect for the Georgia coastline on the top end of that system with the wind and storm surge possible. We'll talk more about those impacts coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, we'll see you in a couple of minutes.